Hello, Williamsburg Landing. Welcome to Tai Chi and Qigong. My name is Stan Rockwell. I want to start off by getting our posture, our balance, and our breathing set up. So the first thing we need to do is set our foundation. It's the connection of our feet to the earth and how grounded we are to the earth. Feet are about shoulder width apart, as parallel as you can get them. Remember, if in all of this, you stay in your comfort zone, so if even that causes you issues and you have to have your toes out a little bit, that's okay. You need to be able to smile when you're doing this. You start to sink down into your feet, feeling that connection to the floor if you're outside, to the earth. You can use that bubbling well in the center of the forefoot as an energetic connection to the earth. You can visualize roots growing into the earth. You just want a really solid connection. You want to really be grounded. Connect yourself upwards to the yang energy of the heavens. There's crown chakra in yoga, but it's called the Ba Wei in Chinese. It's the last point of your skull that hardens up after you're born. It's the spot behind the center of the top of your forehead. You can visualize an energetic connection pulling you up, a line attached there pulling you up, stretching you upwards, making you taller. And as it does, it starts to make changes to your body. Your vertebrae become stacked on top of each other. Your line takes on more of a J shape as you rise up and your tailbone drops, your hips move back a little bit, stomach flattens, lower back flattens. Tops of the hips parallel to the floor, tops of the shoulders parallel to the floor. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Back of your head rises up, chin tucks in a little bit. Get your head nice and balanced on your shoulders. Check out how your weight's distributed, if you're about 50-50 on each foot, left and right. And then if you feel centered in your feet, if there's too much weight on the front of the foot or the heel of the foot, you just relax down right into the center of the foot. So that if you were to drop a line from your earlobe, it would go through the center of your shoulder, center of your hip, center of your ankle with some bend in your knees. Remember, there's always going to be some bend in your knees, some bend in your elbows, and your knees are always going to be pointed in the same direction as your toes. So you just focus on your breathing. It's abdominal breath. You breathe in through your nose, down to your diaphragm, feel an expansion all the way around, about hip level. On the exhale, you pull the pelvic floor up to move as much air out as you can. But even on the inhale, the 70% rule applies. You don't have to try to inhale as deeply as you can. Again, you stay in your comfort zone. And just breathe. Make the exhale last a little bit longer than the inhale. Typically, you breathe in and out through your nose. You can also breathe out through your mouth, and if you do, you can just sigh. With that sound, you let whatever tension is inside, whatever tightness is inside, just flow out and away from you. You can also touch the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth behind your front teeth. Chinese medicine that connects an energy channel down the front of your body and another up the back of your body. It also disengages the muscles in your jaw. One other part you can do if you're just practicing the breathing, which again you can do anytime, anywhere, you can put a phrase with it that helps induce that relaxation response. And the more you practice it, the more you can easily fall into that relaxation response, and you can use that word, sort of a mantra. When I've worked with folks in counseling, they pick their own word and you pick your own word. Maybe something like calm, serenity, grace, peace. Just as you breathe, you say that word to yourself in your mind. Or even on the exhale, you can say it out loud. So just follow me. We're going to start at the top and work our way down. Our usual warm-up. Arms come up, palms face. Turn your hands towards you. Press your hands in towards your face like you're pushing your head back a little bit. Feel some movement in your neck. Turn your hands, you press out and down. It's an inhale and an exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more. As your arms press out, you feel the arms extend outwards, all the joints expand outwards. But again, be gentle with yourself. Back to the center. Arms come up. One hand comes down, other arm folds over. Turn to one side, keeping your palm and your forehead lined up. You come back to the center, change places. It's an exhale out to the side. Inhale to the center. Let your arms come back down. Turn your head to one side, so you're looking towards that side. Just drop your chin and let it roll across the bottom, back up to that center line and then straight across. You don't look up at all. It's an exhale across the bottom. Inhale across the center. And then just reverse to the other side. Center. Shoulder rolls. If you have issues with your rotator cuffs, we start off rotating to the front. Just rotate your arms so your palms are facing behind you and make the circles with your elbows. And then just reverse. Arms float up. Press down. It's an inhale and an exhale. Arms come up. Hands keep going till they're pointed straight upwards. And if you can, you bring your forearms and palms together. If not, just let your elbows relax outwards. Inhale out. Exhale. Your arms are back out even with your shoulders. Just let your arms come out. Keep some softness in the elbows. Don't fully extend. You never lock a joint. Back towards you, but again, don't fully compress. It's an exhale out and an inhale back. Pause when you have those right angles in your elbows, fingers pointed straight up, and just let your hands tilt towards you and away from you. And then towards and away from each other. Circles one way, circles the other way. Fold your fingers over, thumbs on the outside, nice soft fists. They come to rest by your hips. We're going to punch as we do. We're going to rotate the arm as we punch. And let that arm extend outwards, all the joints expand, and open the hands, all the fingers expand outwards. Close the hand, come back in. Again, rotating the arm back. So it's an exhale out and an inhale back. Just flex your fingers, bring your hands so they're about even with your waist. As you inhale, hands expand outwards. As you exhale, you just come back. It's an inhale and an exhale. It's just a very gentle, easy way to flex all the joints in your hands. And again, just let your fingers come back to the center, hold the ball, either hand on top, doesn't matter. Just make sure the elbow of the upper arm is dropped lower than the shoulder. Lower hand rotates out, presses up, upper hand presses down. It's an inhale to the center and an exhale out. Back to the center, going to rotate from one side to the other, only from the hips up. Everything from the hips down stays nice and still. Got this hand on top. So I turn to that side, keeping the palms facing, turn the hands around, come back to the other side. Just synchronize your breathing so you're inhaling in one direction and exhaling in the other. Hands out to the side like you're pressing into a wall. Shift all your weight into one foot now. This is my foundation. Just reach out and touch. It's an exhale and an inhale. Back to the center. Get yourself nice and balanced, then shift all your weight into one foot. Hands go back just a little bit to counterbalance the foot. Weightless goes out and back. Just synchronize your breathing. Same thing other side. Back to the center. Little space between your heels, toes pointed towards the corners, fists at your hips. Shift your weight into one foot. Weightless foot goes forward. Forefoot touches down, counterbalance by punching with the other arm. It's an exhale and an inhale. Second for your knees is shifting your weight into one foot. Rotate on the forefoot of the foot that's not holding the weight. It goes straight up. Doesn't have to go very far. Shift your weight into it and you keep your knees pointed in the same direction as your toes. The knee is roughly over your ankle, or maybe a little bit forward, but it never goes beyond your toe. Punch with the opposite arm. Come back. It's an exhale and an inhale. Kind of a good rule of thumb to make sure you keep your knee nice and safe as you do keep that shin bone perpendicular to the floor. So that way you don't overextend your knee. Come back, feet shoulder width apart. Shift your weight into one foot. For the ankle, it's heel and toe first. Same thing on the other side. Then pick a spot where a couple boards come together, or one spot on the floor, outside and inside the foot touch the same spot. Same thing on the other side. Shift your weight over and first circles in one direction, being very gentle with your hip, knee, and ankle. In the other direction. Same thing on the other side. And reverse. And just bring your hands together, hands clasped. It's the one we added a time or two ago where you just kind of, again, flex up your wrist a little bit. And then reverse it. And just kind of shake everything out a little bit. Nice and relaxed but ready. Qigong dates back, we mentioned before, several thousand years, maybe as long as 5,000 years ago. Many different styles, variations. Many of them base their movements on animal movements. The same thing is true with Tai Chi and other Chinese martial art forms. are based on animal movements. One of the oldest Qigong forms is something called 5 animal sports, 5 animal frolics. Each animal has a long sequence of movements. We're going to do a very short version that just has one for each animal. So get yourself nice and balanced. It starts off with your arms floating up and coming down. Hips go back a little bit so you stay balanced over your foundation. And this isn't just an introduction kind of movement that opens up energy channels. And the first time I ever felt that tingling in my hands was when I was doing this. So if you're doing these and you feel some heat in your hands, or your palms get red, or you feel some tingling in your hands, you're doing it in a more skillful way. And you balance everything out. Bring your fingers in so you have fists that are basically tiger paws, because the first animal is a tiger. Hips go forward a little bit, you reach back a little bit, you reach up and grab just like the tiger grabbing breakfast or lunch or dinner, whatever time you're doing this. Inhale up, exhale down. We're just going to do 3 of each, but you can do however many you want. Oftentimes they'll do 9 or 18. Shift your weight from one side to the other, keeping yourself centered over that foundation so your weight's going from one foot to the other and your fingertips are trailing. Get all your weight into one side, hands come up, bring in those 2 middle fingers so it looks like that. Thumb out, index finger up, little finger up. And those are the deer antlers. You step up with a foot on the other side. As you shift your weight, you turn on that heel and you have that little twist as you come around. And come back. You go back to that sway from one side to the other. Make the deer antlers, step up. And you have the twist to the other side. Balance everything out. Third animal is the monkey. Monkey's going to be stealing peaches. Peaches originated in China. This one you can do a couple ways. If getting up on your toes like that is an issue for you, you can just bring your arms up, your shoulders up, so your shoulders come up a little bit, and you turn to look to one side, you turn to look to the other side, and then you press down. It loosens up your neck pretty well. Traditionally, you come up on your toes. You look to one side, you look to the other side, you press down. You do it quickly or slowly. Again, stay in your comfort zone. I'm going to do one more since the first one was just kind of to show how to do it. Balance everything out. Fourth animal is the bear. Bear is kind of the easiest one. You make fists, thumbs are towards your abdomen. Again, you're going to use your whole body, so there's that little bit of a twist and that circling around. As you are circling your hands around, massaging your abdomen, and then you reverse to the other side. Balance everything out. And the fifth animal is the crane. It's basically a balance exercise, so you shift all your weight into one foot, hands come up. Side. Come back to the center. Balance everything out. Let's do 6. Thanks for joining me. Take care. Be safe and well, and I'll see you next time.